Story about rogue locksmiths in this week's Watchdog.
Yes, picture the scene. You're locked out of the house and you want to find a locksmith you can trust pronto. But after a quick online search, you could stumble across a company that turns a simple fix into a hefty financial hit. Locking yourself out of your house probably results in blind panic. But we've been hearing about one locksmith firm that claims to be a speedy saviour.
DIY Best says it has locksmiths that can be with you within the hour. But once they are with you, you may find that they end up charging you hundreds of pounds for jobs that should cost a fraction of that price.
Back in January, Jackie from Kent was locked out as she left home with her 13-year-old daughter.
You know at that stage you're going to need some help.
I said, we're going to have to get a locksmith out. I went onto Google. So the first one that came up, I think it was something like £49 call-out fee. So it sounded brilliant, really positive.
45 minutes later, a locksmith arrived from DIY Best. A locksmith should be able to open a door like Jackie's without damaging it. Drilling the lock would be the last resort, but that's the first thing the DIY Best locksmith offered to do.
He said it's £250 to drill it. And I was like, oh my God.
Did he say anything about other ways of opening the door?
No.
Like picking the lock?
He literally drilled through the lock, put a new barrel in, and then gave me 5 keys.
And Jackie was even more shocked when she was given the final bill. The £45 call-out fee had rocketed to over £800.
I mean, that's a staggering amount of money.
Well, I could have smashed the door down and got a new door for that.
Feeling like she had no other option, Jackie paid up, including VAT, because DIY Best claims to be VAT registered.
Here's the thing. We've checked that VAT number and it comes up as not registered. And if DIY Best is charging customers VAT when it itself is not registered, then that's against the law.
We've also noticed that DIY Best's website reassuringly features a list of memberships. Only problem is, it doesn't appear that the company is a member of any of them. When Amy from Allwright in Clackmannanshire locked herself out last October, she also called the first locksmith she found online. This time, DIY Best had a different starting price.
They just confirmed the same price of the £95 labour charge and then the £79 call-out fee. There's no other mention of any other sort of prices or anything like that.
The locksmith that turned up drilled the old lock out and replaced it with a new barrel. The job took 30 minutes, but the invoice was for £820. Amy told them that she couldn't afford that and appealed for a reduction.
We'd eventually said £375, so we just agreed to pay that.
Amy's husband paid £300 on his card, but when Amy went to pay the rest, the locksmith's card reader didn't work. So he decided to take his lock back.
He actually left us with no lock in the door at all. It was just a hole. So we were left with an unsecure house.
So who should you call if you get locked out? Well, we called
Lloyd Morgan from the Master Locksmiths Association, and that means he's got the skills before he drills. I'm pretty sure he's already in the house. Let's talk about Jacqueline first and what happened to her.
No attempt to pick the lock, went straight in with the drilling, and then seemed to pull numbers out of the air in terms of how the bill was presented.
Let's talk about Amy's case.
He maliciously drilled the cylinder out before leaving, and they may need another locksmith to come and fix the damage that he's just created.
What do you make of that behaviour?
It's unbelievable. We're meant to be custodians of security, and that goes against any decent locksmith principles.
Well, we wanted to see for ourselves how DIY Best operates during a call-out. So stay tuned to see what happened when the Watchdog team poses as a customer locked out of the house and secretly films a DIY Best locksmith charging almost 4 times the expected price.
Definitely stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
Thanks, Matt. Now to find out what happened when Watchdog went undercover. Matt?
Yes, earlier on we heard that locksmiths DIY Best overcharged some customers by hundreds of pounds for services that weren't actually needed. Would you like to see it happen? I have a feeling you would. We've rigged this house with hidden cameras, and Dominique is playing the locked-out homeowner. We're showing the footage to master locksmith Lloyd Morgan. He says any reputable locksmith should be able to get in for around 100 quid.
OK then, thank you, bye.
15 minutes after the call, the locksmith arrives. But Lloyd doesn't think much of his attempts to pick the lock.
He has put some lock picks into the lock, but the manner in which he's using them, this is clearly just pure theatrics.
It's not long until the locksmith determines the only way to get in the house is to drill out the lock.
So I have to damage the lock to open it, unfortunately.
How many other things could you have tried by this stage?
Had the first method not have worked, I'd have been in any one of 4 methods. I wouldn't even get my drill out of the car.
And now time to work out the price.
Let me check how much is that. Okay, so they charge 39 the call out, 170 to open this type of security plus the vest, so that's 250 to open it first.
It's already cost £250 getting through the door, but securing it with a lock leads to 2 even heftier overall price packages.
Go for the medium security one, there will be 399 in total, or with the high security one, that's 489.
So the 2 prices given there, $399 for medium security, $489 for high security. Does that make any sense to you?
Astronomical prices.
According to Lloyd, a reputable locksmith would charge a total of just £135 to get in and then install the type of lock DIY Best describes as high security. But it seems Dominique is getting off lightly, as the locksmith tells us what he's charged other customers in the past.
Sometimes will be broken this mechanism.
Yeah.
That's going over 1,000.
Over £1,000?
Yeah.
To get in the house?
Yeah.
DIY Best charged us £400 for 37 minutes work. Lloyd says that's about 4 times what it should have cost.
So that initial £39 is literally just the beginning of the story, isn't it?
It is really. If the labour charge isn't the lock opening charge, what is the labour charge? He's just made such a hash of it, just to inflate the price, just to manipulate and extract money from you. It's just crazy.
We put that and our own allegations to DIY Best. And where the company was quick to take our cash, it wasn't so speedy responding to our inquiry. We've heard nothing back from the company.
DIY Best. A locksmith occupies a position of trust. By failing to offer your customers the simplest and cheapest way out of their fix, you're betraying that trust. Open and shut.
And you know what? We've still not heard from DIY Best, despite us contacting the company numerous times. Here at Watchdog, we want to make sure you don't get caught out when you're locked out. So here's some key advice when you're looking for a locksmith. Avoid adverts which offer very cheap prices up front. A genuine locksmith should be able to provide an estimated quote, and it's usually going to be a best and worst case scenario, somewhere between those two, after they know the details of the job from you. Ideally, get that quote in writing before any work's done. Also, look out for companies making false claims about being certified, accredited or police recommended. The police don't recommend locksmith companies. You can check if a locksmith is approved with the Master Locksmiths Association, and you'll find details of that on our website. Getting locked out of the house is never ideal. Remember, the most important thing is not to panic and click on that first link that you see. And on that subject, finding companies you can trust online can be very tricky. One thing lots of us do for reassurance is to read customer reviews, but can you trust them? Well, in the last few weeks, new consumer protections have come into place, including a ban on fake reviews. That means the Competition and Markets Authority will now be clamping down hard on websites and platforms not following these rules. And rest assured, we will be keeping an eye here on Watchdog too. So, if you see a company that you suspect has fake reviews on its website, we want to know all about it. Get in touch. Watchdog at bbc.co.uk, at BBC Watchdog on the socials.
Oh, thank you so much, Matt. That is brilliant news, isn't it, about
really
those
is.
fake reviews, and another cracking investigation, as always.